Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Welcome back to our channel. After a comprehensive overview about the 53 types of angels created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are now moving towards the Musakkhir al-Atafah, the angel who tests through love and attachment. Among the most delicate, subtle, and spiritually intense of the testing angels is Musakkhir al-Atafah, the one who governs the realm of love, affection, attachment, longing, and emotional bonds. While many angels test through external conditions, wealth, health, circumstances, or loss, this angel tests through the softest fibers of the soul, where a human being's deepest vulnerabilities lie. Love is the strongest force placed in the human heart, and attachment is the thread that binds one soul to another. Because of this, love has the power to lift a seeker to the height of sainthood, or drag him into the depth of heedlessness. Thus, the divine assigned an angel whose responsibility is to expose the truth of what we love, how we love, and why we love. These are the beings of unfathomable might, created from the most luminous light of Nur Muhammadi, meaning the divine light of Prophet Muhammad. Musakkhir al-Atafah does not test by removing love, but by redirecting it, bending it, altering its intensity, or awakening it unexpectedly. Through these shifts, the angel reveals whether love brings the seeker closer to Allah or further from Him, whether attachment strengthens the spirit or weakens it, whether affection is pure, selfless, and divinely inspired, or contaminated by ego, desire, insecurity, or ownership. This angel watches how the heart leans, how it clings, how it yearns, and how it breaks. The test is rarely harsh, it is often gentle, quiet, and inner, occurring in the silence of longing, in the ache of separation, or in the sweetness of companionship. Tasawwufi masters say that Musakkhir al-Atafah governs the subtle currents of the heart, those unseen movements that no human eye can perceive, the spark of love between two souls, the sudden cooling of affection, the hidden jealousy masters care, the yearning for what has been lost, the fear of letting go, the desire to belong, and the silent loyalty that endures over years. When these currents shift, the seeker must understand it is the angel testing whether the heart belongs more to creation or to the Creator. The trial of this angel is not to destroy love, but to purify it, to free the heart from possessiveness, and to elevate affection from earthly emotion to spiritual connection. Attachment, when refined, becomes mahabba lillah, love for the sake of Allah. Musakkhir al-Atafah places the seeker in situations where he must choose sincerity over fear, truth over comfort, selflessness over ego, and divine love over temporary attachment. The greatest saints were shaped through the test of this angel, for no one reaches Allah until their heart has first been polished by the trials of love. Thus, the introduction of this angel is an introduction to the most powerful furnace of transformation, where hearts are melted, reshaped, softened, and elevated. Before going further, a quick update: all our videos are available in both English and Urdu languages on our YouTube channel. You can find them by navigating to our playlists, where all our videos are available for your convenience. Now let's continue. Quran mentions 1. Love as a divine test. In Surah Al-Anfal verse 28, know that your wealth and your children are but a trial, and that with Allah is a great reward. In Surah At-Taghabun verse 15, your wealth and your children are only a trial, but Allah has with Him a great reward. These verses form the core foundation of the test supervised by Musakkhir al-Atafah. 2. Attachment, turning the heart away. In Surah Al-Baqarah verse 165, and there are those who take others besides Allah as equals. They love them as they should love Allah, but those who believe are stronger in their love for Allah. In Surah At-Tawbah verse 24, if your fathers, your sons, your brothers, your spouses, your relatives, the wealth you have gained, The commerce you fear declining and the homes you cherish are more beloved to you than Allah and His Messenger and striving in His cause, then wait until Allah brings His command. This is the ultimate test of attachment. 3. Loss of loved ones as a test. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verses 155 to 156. We will certainly test you with fear, hunger, loss of wealth, lives, and fruits. Those who say when calamity strikes them, indeed we belong to Allah and to Him we return. This includes the test of losing loved ones. 4. Affection between spouses in Surah Ar-Rum, verse 21, and among His signs is that He created for you spouses from among yourselves, that you may find tranquility in them, and He placed between you affection and mercy. This verse describes the sacredness of affection, one of the realms governed by this angel. 5. Parental love and compassion in Surah Al-Isra, verse 24. Lower to them the wing of humility out of mercy and say, My Lord, have mercy upon them, as they raised me when I was small. In Surah Luqman, verse 14, his mother bore him in hardship upon hardship. These portray love as a divine instrument of testing and purification. 6. Love turning into pain or obsession. In Surah Yusuf, verse 30, the women said, The wife of the Aziz is trying to seduce her servant. Love for him has penetrated her heart. In Surah Yusuf, verse 84. And his father's eyes became white with grief, and he was suppressing his sorrow. These reveal the vulnerability of the heart in emotional attachment. 7th, hearts being turned or stabilized. In Surah Al-Imran, verse 8, Our Lord, do not let our hearts deviate after you have guided us. In Surah Al-Hashr, verse 21, If we had sent this Quran upon a mountain, you would have seen it humbled and split apart from fear of Allah. These verses connect to the angelic role in shaping the heart. 8. Attachment to this world verses. Attachment to Allah. In Surah Al-Kahf, verse 28. Do not let your eyes overlook those who call upon their Lord, seeking the worldly life. In Surah Al-Ala, verses 16th and 17th. You prefer the worldly life, though the hereafter is better and more lasting. These verses define the inner battlefield of attachments. 9. Brotherhood, unity, and love for believers. In Surah Al-Hashr, verse 9. They prefer others to themselves even if they themselves are in need. In Surah Al-Hujurat, verse 10. The believers are but brothers, so reconcile between your brothers. These verses represent the purified form of love. 10. False love for sin or corruption. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 96. You will find them the most eager of people for life. In Surah Al-Furqan, verse 43. Have you seen the one who takes his desires as his God? This shows the danger of misdirected love. 11. Allah's love for the righteous. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 222. Indeed, Allah loves those who repent and those who purify themselves. In Surah Al-Imran, verse 76. Allah loves the righteous. In Surah Al-Imran, verse 159. Indeed, Allah loves those who trust in Him. These indicate the final aim of the tests through love. In our previous videos, we also explored the verse on how Allah created every living thing from water, the creation of the waters above the dome and below the flat earth, the firmament dome above the flat earth, actual shape of the earth according to the Quran and Islamic cosmology, primordial waters of the heavens, the kursi, meaning the footstool of Allah, the arsh, meaning the throne of Allah, law and mahfuz, meaning the sacred tablet, the second creation of Allah, al-qalam, why Allah created the universe, the first creation of Allah, the 7 portals and dimensions of the universe, and discussed where Allah was before He created the universe. If you haven't watched them yet, please do. Now, let's continue. Hadith mentions in Sahih Bukhari 13, the sweetness of faith is found in 3. To love Allah and His Messenger more than all else, to love a person only for the sake of Allah, and to hate returning to disbelief as one would hate being thrown into fire. In Sahih Muslim 44th, none of you truly believes until I am more beloved to him than his father, his child, and all mankind. In Sahih Bukhari 5990, a man is upon the religion of his close companion. In Sahih Muslim 2564, souls are like enlisted soldiers. Those similar recognize each other and come together. In Sahih Muslim 2743, Allah does not take anything from the believer except that he replaces it with something better. In Sahih Bukhari 6617, Allah is more merciful to his servants than a mother to her child. In Sahih Muslim 1488, whoever has a child and loves him and he dies, Allah will admit him to paradise because of his patience. In Sahih Bukhari 1284, when the child of a servant dies, Allah says to the angels, "Have you taken the child of my servant?" They say, "Yes." Allah says, "Did you take the fruit of his heart?" In Sahih Muslim 1524, Allah tests his servant in proportion to his faith. In Sahih Bukhari 6340, verily hearts are between two fingers of the most merciful. He turns them as he wills. In Sahih Muslim 2654, O turner of hearts, keep my heart firm upon your religion. In Sahih Bukhari 6063, whoever loves for Allah, hates for Allah, gives for Allah, and withholds for Allah has perfected faith. In Sahih Bukhari 13 and Sahih Muslim 45, none of you believes until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. Tirmidhi 2395, verily Allah looks not at your forms or wealth but at your hearts and deeds. In Ibn Majah 4217, love whomever you wish, for one day you will be separated from him. In Sunan Tirmidhi 2345, do not love excessively, for the one you love may one day become one you hate. In Musnad Ahmad 12604, the closest of you to me on the day of resurrection are those with the best character. In Sahih Muslim 2317, the most complete in faith are those best in character. In Sunan Abu Dawud 5124, hearts rust like iron, the polish for them is the remembrance of Allah. In Sahih Muslim 2553, Allah loves gentleness in all matters. In Tirmidhi 2516, the believer is affectionate, and there is no good in one who is neither affectionate nor loved. In Musnad Ahmad 21292, no two who love each other for Allah are separated except due to a sin one of them commits. In Sunan Tirmidhi 2305, the truly rich person is the one rich in heart. In Sahih Bukhari 1294, eyes shed tears and the heart feels sorrow, but we only say what pleases our Lord. In Musnad Ahmad 8430, the heart becomes ill like the body becomes ill. Its remedy is remembrance of Allah. In Sahih Muslim 2622, Allah is shy and generous, He covers faults. In Sahih Muslim 1538, a believer is not stung from the same source twice. In Sunan Tirmidhi 2488, no servant is afflicted with anxiety or sorrow and says, "O Allah, I am your servant," except that Allah removes his grief. In Sunan Ibn Majah 4235, love is blindness and makes one deaf. In Sahih Muslim 2688, every one of you will be resurrected according to his intentions. Description and numbers. Tasawwufi masters describe Musakkhir al-ʿAṭafah as an angelic force that bends the emotions of the human heart toward what Allah has decreed for a person's spiritual unveiling or purification. He is called Musakkhir, the subduer, the one who inclines, because he works upon the qalb meaning heart, nafs meaning the self, and sir meaning inner secret, creating states of deep attraction, powerful love, persistent attachment, testing emotional dependence, redirection of affection. This can appear as love for people, love for places, love for ideas, love for dunya, love for spiritual states, or love for Allah. Whatever form it takes, the purpose is a test, a lesson, or a lifting of veils. He embodies the meaning of the Quranic verse of Surah 21 verse 35. We test you with both hardship and blessing. The Tasawwufi masters say that love is both hardship and blessing, and this angel governs its inner workings. Because he deals with the subtle energies of the heart, he does not appear with a single fixed form. Rather, Tasawwufi literature describes him appearing in three possible modes: luminous, soft-hued, resembling gentle, flowing light, symbolizing mercy, attraction, beauty. This form appears when the test is through beautiful emotions, compassion, love, longing for Allah. They are comprised of intense form, the Jalali form, which is powerful, with overwhelming presence, and blazing intensity like a spiritual sun. This form appears when the test involves painful separation, heartbreak, detachment, or purification from unhealthy attachments. They are almost invisible. They are sensed as a movement within the heart, with a shift in emotions, inclinations, or spiritual yearnings. This is the form that most seekers encounter without knowing it. Their numbers are symbolic, not scriptural. Different tariqas mention different hierarchies, but all agree he is part of the Akya, the subtle angelic helpers of the heart. His primary rank is described as a sub-angel under the higher angelic category of Malaikat al-Kulub, the angels of the hearts. He does not govern hearts fully, that belongs only to Allah, but he manages the tests of feelings. Tasawwufi cosmology mentions that he commands 70,000 subtle spiritual aids, responsible for moving emotions within the human inner world. These are called Ruhaniyat al-ʿAṭafah, the spiritual beings of emotional inclination. This number of 70,000 appears frequently in classical Tasawwufi symbolism to indicate an immense but not infinite multitude. His domain includes the limbic realm of the heart called Lata'if al-Qalb, the station of love called Maqam al-Mahabba, the station of longing called Maqam al-Shawq, the station of detachment called Maqam al-Zut. He works within the heart's chambers, not the physical world. He does not speak but influences, has emotional pull, sudden attraction, persistent affection, difficulty letting go, longing for what is near or far, fear of losing something loved, love for dunya, love for akhirah, love for a teacher or companion, love for seclusion, love for worship. Through these movements he tests whether love elevates the seeker or distracts them, unveils them or blinds them, purifies or entangles. Every emotional pull is his touch, and every emotional struggle is his challenge. Tasawwufi sources describe color as rose gold or light crimson, symbolizing love mixed with trial, element as subtle fire called the nar latifa, the fire that warms, melts, and transforms the heart. His signature sign is described as a sign attributed to him in the writings of mystics, an emotion that grows without physical cause and stops without logical reason. This test reveals whether the heart is attached for Allah or for itself. Role with the prophets. 1. With Prophet Adam. Prophet Adam's deep affection for the garden, his spouse Hawa. The companionship he experienced represented the first trial of emotional attachment. Tasawwufi masters say Musakkhir al-āṭafah was the angelic force behind the lesson that everything loved must be loved for Allah alone. His descent to earth became the first unveiling of love purified through separation. 2. With Prophet Nuh. Prophet Nuh's love for his son was strong, yet Allah declared in Surah 11 verse 46, "He is not of your family." This was an immense emotional test, and Sufi scholars say it was under the influence of this angel. It taught mankind that blood ties do not outweigh the truth. 3. With Prophet Ibrahim, the Tasawwufi unanimously state, Prophet Ibrahim's entire life is the classroom of Musakkhir al-ʿAṭafah. He was tested through love for his father, his people, his wife Hajar, his son Ismail, the Kaaba, and humanity itself. But the peak was the sacrifice. The angelic force divinely moved his heart to prove. Even the deepest love is surrender to the Creator. This test elevated him to Khalilullah, the beloved friend of Allah. 4. With Prophet Yaqub. Prophet Yaqub's extreme longing for Yusuf, to the point of blindness, is the archetype of love as purification. The Tasawwufis say this angel oversaw the test of separation, the fire of longing meaning shock, the purification of fatherly affection, the unveiling that love hides divine wisdom. His patient endurance, called Sabr Jamil, became a model for seekers undergoing emotional pain. 5. With Prophet Yusuf. Prophet Yusuf faced the most intense test of earthly attraction and self-restraint, especially with Zulaikha. In the Tasawwufi view, Musakkhir Atafah was the force that intensified his spiritual beauty, attracted hearts toward him, tested him through desire, purified him through emotional trials, elevated him through resisting temptation. The test of beauty became a means of prophetic refinement. 6. With Prophet Musa. Prophet Moses' deep compassion for his people often became a trial, especially when they betrayed him. This angelic influence revealed the pain of leadership, the weight of emotional responsibility, the heart's endurance in facing rejection. Prophet Musa's love remained pure, and each emotional test raised him in rank. 7th. With Prophet Dawood. Prophet Dawood had a tender, soft heart. His tests were in attachment to justice, sorrow over mistakes, compassion for the weak, deep devotion in worship. The Tasawwufis say this angel refined Dawood's emotional depth, making him simultaneously a warrior and a weeper, both states united in sincerity. 8. With Prophet Suleiman. Prophet Suleiman loved beauty, animals, jinn, his kingdom, the gifts of Allah. His tests ensured his heart never clung to these blessings. Every love he felt was redirected toward gratitude, not attachment. The angelic influence ensured his love never overshadowed his tawhid. 9. With Prophet Yunus. His departure from his people was an emotional reaction. This angelic lesson taught the Ummah spiritual work is done with patience, not with emotional overwhelm. His test in the belly of the whale purified his heart from emotional fatigue. 10. With Prophet Isa. Prophet Isa had little attachment to dunya. His trial was love of the spiritual world. The angel ensured he did not detach too far, abandon the human mission, escape responsibility through spiritual absorption. Prophet Isa's balanced love became a model for renunciance. 11. With Prophet Muhammad. All the tests of all prophets converge in him. He loved Allah, his family, his ummah, even his enemies, beauty, companionship, worship, seclusion with Allah. His life was the absolute perfection of love without attachment. This angelic force influenced his grief in Taif, the loss of Khadija, his mercy toward enemies, his longing in night prayer, his love for the Ummah even on his deathbed. In him, Musakhir al-Atafah achieved its highest manifestation, a heart loving everything for Allah alone, role in Tasawwuf and Tariqat. In Tasawwuf, Musakhir al-Atafah is not understood as a worldly creature with wings but as a celestial force, a spiritual intelligence sent by Allah to test, refine, soften, break, rebuild, and illuminate the human heart through the mysteries of love, attachment, longing, separation, and emotional surrender. Every tariqah teaches that the most dangerous and most transformative tests are tests of love, because love hides the deepest veils and the deepest openings. Thus, this angel becomes the unseen examiner of the inner chambers of the heart, exposing any form of unhealthy attachment, egoic affection, codependent love, love mixed with pride, love mixed with neediness, love that competes with Allah. In the spiritual path, this angel appears symbolically as the polisher of the subtle heart called al-Qalb al-Latif, and the tester of mahabba meaning love, ishq meaning deep burning love, and shauq meaning intense longing. 1. In all tariqat, the first test is always love. Every tasawwufi order teaches that the first gate of the path is love, and the first obstacle is also love. Through the presence of Musakkhir al-Atafah, the seeker is tested in love for the Shaykh and Murshid, love for dunya, love for companionship, love for recognition, love for family, love for their own spiritual experiences. This angel tests whether these loves are for Allah or in place of Allah. When the seeker passes, their love becomes pure, luminous, and detached. 2. In the Naqshbandi path, the angel of silent inner refinement. In the Naqshbandi order, emotional purity is central. They teach that this angel awakens hidden attachments, brings forgotten loves to the surface, triggers old wounds, exposes dependency and emotional pride, makes the heart truthful with the Murshid. Many Naqshbandi masters say, if you want Allah, Allah will show you first everything you love besides Him. This is the work of Musakkhir al-Atafah. 3. In the Qadiri path, the angel that breaks the heart open. The Qadiri path focuses on Jalal meaning majesty. Here, the angel acts through powerful emotional shocks, loss of someone loved, betrayal, intense longing, unfulfilled desire, sudden separation, burning love without attainment. Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani taught that the heart must be shattered until only God remains as its healer. This angel is the one who administers that shattering so that the Qadiri seeker becomes truthful. 4. In the Chishti path, the angel of expansive ishq. The Chishtis revolve around overwhelming, overpowering love. Here, Musakhir al-Atafah inflames the heart with yearning, expands the capacity to feel love for creation, awakens compassion balanced with non-attachment, transforms pain into poetry, elevates longing into worship. In this path, the angel is understood as the guardian of sacred yearning, ensuring love leads to Allah, not to egoic delusion. 5. In the Shadili path, the angel of balanced affection. The Shadilis emphasize outward normalcy with inward detachment. For them, this angel organizes emotional states, keeps love from becoming obsession, transforms affection into service, harmonizes relationships with spiritual priorities. The Shadilis say, love should warm the heart but not burn the path. This angel ensures that the seeker does not drown in emotional intensity. 6. In the Rifai path, the angel that purifies the passionate heart. The Rifais are known for passionate devotion and intense dhikr. Here, Musakhir al-Atafah tests desire versus love, excitement versus sincerity, emotional highs versus spiritual stability. This angel turns the fire of passion into the light of certainty, meaning yaqeen. In the Mevlevi path, the angel of the whirling heart. In the order of Maulana Rumi, this angel symbolizes the subtle pivot around which the heart revolves. The seeker whirls around love, but the angel ensures your orbit is around Allah, not around yourself or another creature. In this tariqat, the angel teaches that true love costs you everything except Allah. 8. In all paths, the angel of true murshid connection. Every tariqat teaches that the relationship between disciple and murshid is sacred but must remain pure. The angel tests whether the murshid is loved as a doorway or an idol, whether admiration becomes dependence, whether affection becomes attachment, whether longing becomes distraction. A pure heart sees the murshid only as a mirror of divine love, not the object of love itself. This purification is done by Musakkhir al-ʿAṭafah. 9. The angel of healing past emotional wounds. On the path, many seekers carry heartbreak, abandonment, childhood wounds, jealousy, grief, attachment trauma. This angel brings these wounds to the surface, not to harm but to heal. The pain that returns is the pain ready to leave. 10. The final Sufi teaching on this angel. In the inner Tasawwufi world, this angel represents the truth that there is no love but Allah. Every other love is a veil or a bridge. Your heart must discover which. Through this angelic force, the seeker learns how to love deeply, how to detach gracefully, how to surrender fully, how to purify emotion, how to transform attachment into devotion. Ultimately, Musakkhir al-ʿAṭafah is the examiner that leads the seeker to the station of pure love called the Maqam al-Mahabba, and finally to the station of annihilation in love called the Fana fil Mahabba. Commentaries from Tasawwufi masters. 1. Imam al-Ghazali. Imam al-Ghazali explains in the Ihya that the greatest spiritual trials come through the affections of the heart because attachments are often hidden beneath layers of self-deception. He teaches that Allah sends spiritual forces that expose the heart's hidden inclinations, forces that Tasawwufi masters later identify as the work of Musakkhir al-Atafah. Imam Ghazali states that nothing unveils a person faster than the way he loves, what he prefers, whom he clings to, and what he fears to lose. Thus this angel, in his cosmology, becomes a mirror that shows the seeker the true weight of dunya in his heart, even when the tongue claims to love only Allah. Ghazali explains that through emotional attachment, Allah tests sincerity, refines intention, and melts the hardness of the heart until love becomes a vehicle for purification instead of a veil. To him, every heartbreak, every separation, every shift in affection is not chaos but the surgical operation of the divine, cutting the seeker free from illusion. 2. Hazrat Ibn Arabi. Hazrat Ibn Arabi identifies this angel as one of the Malaikat al-Ahwal al-Qalbiyah, the angels responsible for shaping the ever-changing states of the heart. In his metaphysics, human affection is a manifestation of divine love. Passing through the prism of the ego, the angel comes to clarify the beam. He teaches that this angel awakens 3 degrees of love: love mixed with ego, revealed through attachment tests; love mixed with sincerity, revealed through selfless affection; pure divine love, revealed when the seeker loves without wanting possession. Hazrat Ibn Arabi explains that this angel's test is to ensure that love does not turn into idolatry of the beloved, for even spiritual affection can become a subtle shirk if the seeker forgets the beloved behind the veil of the beloved. He teaches that this angel is also a guardian of al-Mahabba al-Ilahiyya, ensuring the heart orbits Allah alone. In his ecstatic writings, he says that such angels appear when love burns too brightly or too dimly, balancing the seeker between longing and surrender until he becomes love itself. 3. Sheikh al-Qadir al-Jilani. Sheikh al-Qadir teaches that nothing corrupts the seeker like excess love for creation, and nothing elevates him like love purified until it returns to the Creator. He speaks of spiritual forces sent by Allah that break earthly attachment when it becomes a barrier to the path, forces that the later Qadiri tradition interprets as the manifestation of Musakkhir al-Atafah. He says, "You cannot enter the path until the heart's idols fall. The idol is not stone, the idol is anything you prefer over Allah. For him, this angel is the one who smashes those idols, sometimes gently, sometimes violently, depending on the seeker's condition. When love becomes obsession, the angel breaks it. When affection becomes dependency, the angel severs it. When longing becomes a veil, the angel redirects it." Jalani teaches that every heartbreak is a summons back to Allah, and that this angel is the executor of divine jealousy, preventing the servant from giving his heart away to what cannot sustain him. 4. Hazrat Shams Tabriz. Hazrat Shams Tabriz, the master of fire and paradox, speaks often of the transformation of personal love into divine love. To him, this angel is the hidden friend that stirs, flips, burns, and refines the heart, making the seeker feel the full storm of emotions so that the ego dissolves and only yearning remains. He says that Allah sends special angels who disturb the heart so it will awaken, and among them is the examiner of attachment, Musakkhir al-ʿAṭafah. Hazrat Shams teaches that this angel appears in moments of overpowering love, painful separation, jealousy, longing that feels unbearable, the sudden collapse of illusions, the razor edge between desire and surrender. For Hazrat Shams, the purpose of this angel is to turn the lover into a burning candle, melting himself until only light remains. He says, "Your heart is a furnace, Allah is the fire, the angel is the one who turns the flames higher." Through this angel, love becomes a spiritual death and rebirth. 5. Maulana Rumi. Maulana Rumi sees this angel as the whisperer of true love, the force that shifts the seeker from human attachment to divine union. In the Mevlevi path, he describes angels that appear between lover and beloved, guiding the heart toward its true destination. Musakkhir al-Atafah is the unseen companion who causes relationships to deepen, break, reunite, or transform according to the spiritual needs of the heart. For Maulana Rumi, every test of love is this angel's work. Love that lifts you, a test. Love that shatters you, a test. Love that confuses you, a test. Love that turns into yearning, purification. He writes that the heart is a reed flute, and this angel carves its holes so that the song of divine love may pass through it. For him, the joy and grief that surround love are instruments used by this angel to push the seeker toward fana fil mahaba, annihilation in love, and then baka fil haq, abiding in Allah. He says, "When love wounds you, know that an angel holds the knife." This is Musakkhir al-Atafah, possibility of seeing them, one, in real life. The angel Musakkhir al-Atafah, who tests the believer through love, attachment, and emotional trials, can rarely be perceived in the material world by those with exceptional spiritual sensitivity. Tasawwufi masters explain that such sightings are not ordinary physical experiences but manifestations of heightened spiritual perception, meaning mushahada. A person immersed in sincerity, devotion, and purification of the heart may, under divine permission, witness fleeting glimpses of the angel during moments of deep supplication or overwhelming love for Allah. These encounters are subtle, a sudden warmth of the heart, a feeling of divine embrace, or an ineffable presence that inspires courage, patience, or a profound sense of attachment to spiritual realities. Such experiences, however, are accompanied by humility and caution, as the human heart can easily misinterpret natural emotions for angelic intervention, if not guided by a Kamil Murshid. 2. In dreams. Dreams are one of the most common ways angels convey messages or tests to human beings. Musakkhir al-Atafah may appear in dreams as a luminous figure, often symbolically representing love, mercy, or relational challenges that the dreamer must confront. Sufi masters emphasize that the angel's presence in dreams is allegorical. The angel may appear as a radiant light, a compassionate guide, or a scenario where attachments and emotional trials are enacted, reflecting the inner state of the soul. The interpretation of such dreams requires spiritual discernment, as angels of attachment often communicate through symbolic actions rather than literal forms. Seeing the angel in dreams strengthens the believer's heart, guiding them toward emotional balance, selflessness, and reliance upon divine love rather than worldly dependencies. 3. In Kashf, meaning spiritual unveiling. Kashf, or spiritual unveiling, is the esoteric vision of realities hidden from ordinary perception, and it offers the most profound form of encountering Musakkhir al-ʿAṭafah. In Kashf, the angel may appear directly or influence the spiritual heart, meaning qalb, with insights into the nature of attachments, love, and emotional trials. Sufi masters describe that during deep meditation, dhikr, or states of fana, meaning annihilation in God, the veil separating the human soul from angelic realities becomes thin, allowing the believer to feel the angel's guidance, sometimes as an inner illumination, a surge of emotional clarity, or a powerful sense of divine ordering of love and relationships. These experiences are transformative, teaching patience, detachment from harmful attachments, and reliance on Allah's wisdom. However, Kashf requires ethical and spiritual preparation. Without guidance from a Kamil Murshid, the soul may misinterpret personal emotions or illusions as angelic presence. True witnessing in Kashf brings serenity, strengthens reliance upon divine love, and deepens the believer's spiritual comprehension of trials connected to the heart and emotions. Role in the grave. After the soul leaves the body, Musakhir Atafah plays a subtle yet profound role in the realm of the grave. Sufi masters describe this angel as overseeing the emotional and spiritual attachment trials of the deceased, reminding the soul of the purity or corruption of its worldly attachments. The angel's presence ensures that the soul confronts the consequences of how love, attachment, and relationships were managed in life. For those who prioritize divine love over worldly attachments, the angel provides ease, illumination, and a sense of spiritual consolation. For those whose attachments were excessive or misdirected, the angel gently exposes these emotional entanglements, preparing the soul for either comfort or admonition. In this phase, the believer experiences a reflection of their inner heart and how their attachments influence their spiritual state, with Musakkhir al-ʿAṭafah acting as a subtle guide to awaken self-awareness and accountability. Role in Barzakh. In the intermediate realm, the Barzakh, Musakkhir al-ʿAṭafah continues its work, supervising the spiritual purification of the soul regarding emotional attachments. The angel facilitates reflection on past relationships, testing how well the soul detached from the ephemeral world and attached itself to Allah. Sufi commentary suggests that the angel acts as a mirror for the soul, showing the subtle influences of love, attachment, and dependence on others or material things. Souls who maintain balance and divine orientation experience a softening and illumination of their spiritual heart, guided toward a state of readiness for the final judgment. Those who clung to worldly attachments without moderation face a process of confronting the consequences of their attachments. Musakkhir al-ʿAṭafah thus functions in Barzakh as both examiner and spiritual facilitator, ensuring that the trials of the heart in life translate into either clarity or admonition for the soul. Role on Qiyamah. On the Day of Judgment, the angel assumes a role of spiritual assessment concerning the soul's trials of love and detachment. Musakkhir al-ʿAṭafah witnesses the accounting of emotional deeds, how one managed love, compassion, family obligations, and the purity of the heart. Sufi texts note that angels of attachment bear witness to whether the soul acted justly in relationships and directed its emotional energies toward the divine. Their testimony influences the spiritual scale and the presentation of the soul before Allah, emphasizing that the management of the heart is inseparable from moral and spiritual accountability. Thus, on Qiyamah, the angel functions as both witness and reminder, ensuring the soul's inner life is fully represented in the divine reckoning. Role in Mizan, the scale of deeds during the weighing of deeds. The Mizan, Musakkhir al-ʿAṭafah, highlights the subtle merits and demerits related to the soul's attachments and emotional responsibilities. Sufi interpretations elaborate that small acts of sincere love, care and mercy toward others may carry immense weight if rooted in divine consciousness, whereas mismanaged attachments that led to selfishness, envy or undue dependence carry negative weight. The angel's presence ensures that the spiritual nuances of the heart are considered in the balance, not just outward actions. In this way, Musakkhir al-Atafah bridges the outer ethical life and inner emotional reality, demonstrating that Allah's justice encompasses the deepest recesses of the human heart. Role on Pulsirat. Finally, on Pulsirat, the angel's guidance assists souls in navigating the spiritual bridge in accordance with the purity and discipline of their attachments in life. Those who prioritize divine love and maintain balanced, righteous attachments are aided subtly, their hearts strengthened to traverse the bridge successfully. Conversely, souls weighed down by excessive or misdirected attachments experience the pull of their emotional burdens, which Musakkhir al-Atafah illuminates and clarifies, allowing the soul to confront and reconcile these attachments under divine observation. Tasawwufi commentary notes that this phase exemplifies the ultimate test of emotional and spiritual mastery, the heart's ability to prioritize divine reality over all worldly loves and ties. Protection and awareness through a Kamil Murshid, protection and awareness concerning Musakkhir al-Atafah, the angel who tests the believer through love and attachment, begins with cultivating a heart firmly anchored in divine consciousness. The Tasawwufi path emphasizes that the trials of attachment are not mere external challenges, but profound tests of the inner self, reflecting the state of the soul and its alignment with Allah. Awareness involves recognizing the subtle ways in which worldly and emotional attachments can influence thoughts, intentions, and actions, and learning to navigate these without falling into excess or neglect. True protection comes from constant vigilance over one's heart, regular practice of dhikr, sincere prayer, and reflection on Quranic teachings regarding moderation, detachment, and prioritizing Allah's love above all else. Under the guidance of a Kamil Murshid, the seeker learns to discern between attachments that purify the soul and those that lead it astray, transforming trials into opportunities for spiritual growth. Ethical conduct, measured responses in relationships, and conscious nurturing of sincere, balanced love strengthen the heart, making it resilient to the subtle tests imposed by Musakkhir al-Atafah. Moreover, engaging in acts of service, charity, and spiritual reflection reinforces protection by aligning the believer's intentions with divine will, while prayers and supplications seeking steadfastness, purification of desires, and illumination of the heart provide a continuous shield. Awareness also requires mindfulness of internal states, recognizing envy, jealousy, or possessiveness as potential triggers of trial, and actively cultivating patience, compassion, and detachment, thereby transforming the angel's challenges into vehicles of spiritual refinement and elevation. A murshid awakens the seeker to the reality that every breath is a form shaped by zikr. By teaching breath zikr, the Murshid transforms the human into a being of continuous remembrance, surpassing angels. A Kamil Murshid, meaning a perfect spiritual guide, is considered in Tasawwuf the inheritor of the Prophet, guiding seekers on the path from clay meaning nafs to light meaning ruh. The Kamil Murshid helps awaken this nafas al-Rahman meaning breath of the All-Merciful within the disciple. Also, as stated in Surah Kaf, verse 17, whoever Allah guides is truly guided, but whoever He leaves to stray, you will never find for them a murshid, meaning a spiritual guide. Angels are always in dhikr, but their dhikr is fixed and limited to the forms Allah gave them. Man, however, through guidance of a murshid, can transform his every breath into dhikr, making his remembrance continuous like angels, and even higher because it comes through free will. In Tariqat, the Murshid teaches Habs al-Nafas meaning watching the breath, and Zikr Khafi meaning silent dhikr. Every inhalation and every exhalation affirms Allah and He alone. This makes the seeker live in the constant rhythm of divine presence. Through Quran, protection and awareness through the Quran is achieved by deeply internalizing the divine guidance on the proper orientation of the heart, desires and relationships. The Quran repeatedly emphasizes moderation in attachment, the impermanence of worldly bonds, and the supreme necessity of aligning all love and devotion to Allah, as reflected in verses such as in Surah 9 verse 24. Say, if your fathers, your sons, your brothers, your spouses, your kindred, the wealth you have gained, the commerce in which you fear a decline, and the dwellings you love are more beloved to you than Allah and His Messenger and striving in His cause, then wait until Allah brings about His command. Such verses remind the believer that emotional and relational attachments are to be measured against the standard of divine love, and awareness of this hierarchy provides spiritual protection from the subtle tests of excessive attachment. The Quran also teaches reliance upon divine remembrance of Allah, meaning dhikr, as a shield, as stated in Surah 13 verse 28. Those who believe and whose hearts find rest in the remembrance of Allah, verily, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest, highlighting that turning to Allah and His guidance strengthens the heart against undue influence of emotional trials. Regular recitation, reflection, and contemplation upon Quranic passages about patience, detachment, and the impermanence of worldly ties serve as both protection and illumination, allowing the believer to navigate attachments without succumbing to the trials posed by Musakkhir al-Atafah. By understanding these divine injunctions, the seeker not only safeguards the heart from imbalance and excessive dependency, but also transforms love and attachment into instruments of spiritual refinement, aligning personal emotions with the greater divine order. Through du'as, protection and awareness through du'as against the trials of Musakkhir al-Atafah, the angel who tests through love and attachment, is a profound practice that aligns the heart with divine guidance while seeking refuge from excessive emotional sway or misguided attachment. The Quran and Sunnah emphasize that turning to Allah in supplication fortifies the soul and shields it from spiritual trials. Du'as for protection from overwhelming love or attachment often begin with seeking refuge in Allah's mercy and wisdom, acknowledging human vulnerability and requesting a heart that is balanced, sincere, and fully aware of divine priorities. For example, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught, as recorded in Tirmidhi, Hadith 30,539, O Allah, protect me from the evils of my own self and from all harmful attachments, and make my heart content with what you have granted me, highlighting that the protection of the heart and awareness of trials comes directly from Allah's guidance. Reciting supplications such as Hasbi Allahu la ilaha illahu alayhi tawakkaltu wa huwa rabbul arshil azim strengthens reliance on Allah while calming turbulent emotions. helping the believer navigate attachments without being led astray. Regular recitation of Al-Fatiha, Ayat al-Kursi, and Surah Al-Hashr not only invoke divine protection, but also awaken a consciousness of the transient nature of worldly ties and the permanence of divine love. By integrating these du'as into daily life, morning, evening, and during moments of emotional turbulence, the believer develops spiritual resilience, making the heart perceptive to tests of attachment, transforming potential trials into opportunities for refinement, and achieving a state of awareness where love is measured, disciplined, and aligned with Allah's will. The act of supplication becomes a bridge between the human heart and divine oversight, shielding the believer from the subtle influences of Musakkhir al-Atafah and allowing the heart to remain serene, focused, and spiritually fortified. Acts to do. To navigate the test of Musakkhir al-Atafah effectively, the believer must cultivate a disciplined heart, guided by both spiritual awareness and practical action. First and foremost, one should engage consistently in dhikr, meaning remembrance of Allah, such as reciting La Klapam Ilallah Muhammadur Rasulallah, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, and invoking the names of Allah that pertain to love, patience, and guidance, which fortify the heart against being overtaken by excessive attachment. Regular prayers, performed with mindfulness and presence, serve as a spiritual anchor, reminding the believer of divine centrality over all temporal relationships and attachments. Charitable acts and service to others redirect love from self-centered or misplaced attachments to sincere concern for the welfare of creation, aligning the heart with the divine purpose of compassion. Maintaining balance in relationships, showing love, respect, and care without overdependence or idolizing anyone besides Allah ensures that attachments remain healthy and spiritually constructive. Reflection, meaning muhasaba, journaling or meditating on one's intentions and emotional responses, allows the believer to recognize areas where the heart may be tested by excessive longing or distraction, providing awareness before attachment becomes a trial. Seeking knowledge from the Quran, Hadith, and guidance from a qualified spiritual teacher strengthens discernment, teaching the believer how to love without being enslaved by worldly emotions. Patience, meaning sabr, and gratitude, meaning shukr, are central acts as they temper the heart when attachments are tested by separation, loss, or relational challenges. Finally, cultivating detachment, meaning taqwa-inspired detachment from the impermanent without severing lawful and moral relationships, ensures the heart is open to divine guidance, transforming potential trials of love into opportunities for spiritual refinement and closeness to Allah. Through these acts, the believer actively cooperates with the divine will, harmonizes the heart's emotions with spiritual truth, and transforms the subtle tests of Musakkhir al-ʿAṭafah into blessings and inner growth. Acts to avoid. When facing the trials of Musakkhir al-ʿAṭafah, the believer must be vigilant against behaviors and attitudes that strengthen the grip of excessive or misguided attachments, which can obscure spiritual clarity and invite divine testing. Over-attachment to worldly relationships, whether family, friends, or romantic partners, can lead the heart away from reliance on Allah, making one vulnerable to despair, jealousy, or possessiveness when these bonds are tested. Idolatry of the heart, called shirk al-qalb, in the form of elevating anyone or anything above Allah in love, trust, or dependence, must be strictly avoided, as it is the root of spiritual failure under this trial. Indulgence in selfish desires or lustful inclinations weakens the soul, creating an imbalance between attachment to the material and attachment to the divine, making one susceptible to emotional turmoil when trials arrive. Neglecting obligatory worship such as salah, fasting, and dhikr diminishes the heart's spiritual resilience, leaving it exposed to the destabilizing influence of testing through attachment. Overreacting to loss or separation by expressing anger, despair, or resentment reinforces the ego and the nafs, which is precisely what Musakkhir al-Atafah tests. Gossiping, jealousy, and envy toward others' relationships or blessings magnifies internal unrest and attachment-related trials, distancing the heart from serenity and trust in Allah's decree. Failing to consult or heed spiritual guidance from a qualified murshid or learned scholar leaves one without the tools to navigate these subtle trials, making the believer prone to emotional extremes or misjudgment. Attaching the heart to transient pleasures or wealth in the context of love or emotional attachment is also
dangerous, as it misaligns the soul with the eternal and increases vulnerability to despair when worldly support or relationships fail. By consciously avoiding these behaviors and tendencies, the believer preserves spiritual balance, maintains a heart firmly oriented toward Allah, and transforms potential vulnerabilities into opportunities for growth, resilience, and refined attachment to the divine essence rather than the impermanent. So, dear viewers, the angel Musakkhir al-ʿAṭafah embodies one of the most profound and intimate dimensions of divine testing, governing the heart's attachments, love, and emotional ties. Through the trials orchestrated by this angel, the believer is confronted with the delicate balance between human relationships and ultimate reliance upon Allah, revealing the depths of sincerity, selflessness, and spiritual maturity within the heart. These tests are not merely external, they penetrate the soul's innermost chambers, uncovering hidden dependencies, unchecked desires, and emotional vulnerabilities. The trials of love, separation, longing, and attachment act as a mirror, reflecting whether the believer's devotion is anchored in the ephemeral or in the eternal. In the Sufi understanding, as emphasized by masters like Imam Ghazali, Hasrat ibn Arabi, Shah Abdul Qadir Jilani, Hasrat Shams Tabriz, and Maulana Rumi, Musakkhir al-Atafah's influence is both a blessing and a challenge. It polishes the heart through hardship, elevates the spirit through patience, and cultivates a purified love that seeks Allah above all else. Those who navigate these trials with awareness, guided by the Quran, dhikr, righteous deeds, and spiritual mentorship, emerge with hearts aligned toward the divine, free from attachment to what is transient, and fortified for both worldly life and the hereafter. Ultimately, the angel's tests are a profound reminder that true freedom and inner peace are not found in avoiding emotional ties, but in cultivating a heart whose attachments are conscious, measured, and ultimately rooted in the love of Allah. By understanding the lessons inherent in these trials, embracing patience, detachment from excess, gratitude for blessings, and steadfastness in adversity, the believer transforms what might appear as hardship into a gateway of spiritual ascent. Musakkhir al-Atafah thus acts as a celestial guide, subtly shaping the soul, refining emotional intelligence, and teaching that the greatest mastery lies not in avoiding attachment but in mastering the heart's orientation toward the eternal and divine. In this way, the angel serves as both tester and teacher, ensuring that love, longing, and emotional devotion become instruments of nearness to Allah rather than distractions from Him, offering the seeker a path toward profound inner purification and spiritual awakening. Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoy this content and find it beneficial, we kindly ask you to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel for more authentic, faith-strengthening content. And let's continue this journey of knowledge together. Inshallah, see you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.